There we go. Thank
Hello, everyone. Are we live now, Roshan?
Yes, we are, Dr. Bull. That's right. We are
Okay.
live. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and good day to everyone. My name is Dr. Bill Reed. I am a faculty member here at Nexford University. We're having a bit of a technical problem this morning with getting our main host connected. So in the meantime, I'm going to cover a few things, and we hope that Mai will join us shortly. We do have with us a few of our learners today, Michael and Ezekiel, as you see. They are active in our program and here to answer questions and make a few comments about their experience as they have progressed through our program. But I do welcome you and thank you for attending. Being able to be here with us is important, and we appreciate your time to spend the time and come and listen. I've been with Nexford, a little bit about me as a backup. I've been with Nexford for just a little over 2 years now as an adjunct faculty. I teach mostly the 6,100 business course, which is the course most people see when you enter into the program, into the master's program. And I'm going to give you a little run through of that program to show you how it works, but a couple of things in general about me and about my experience with Nexford so far. I live in the United States. I live about 100 kilometers south of New York City. And I've been in this area most of my life. I have lived in other areas as well, those parts of the United States, but never in an international location. But I've been in online education for about 24 years. And of those 24 years, most of those years have been truly online. I've taught at a community college here and occasionally on a ground campus, but most of my experience is online. And I say that because most of the faculty are very similar to this. We're experienced in this area. We know how it works. Some of us are products of online education itself. And we have a lot of experience that we like to share with you. One of the things I've found impressive about the Nexford organization is the connection that the faculty make with the students who join us. While we are an international university, you will be joining other students from around the globe, as you'll hear from Michael and Ezekiel, at 2 different locations totally. I'm in the United States, and we really are spread out widely around the globe. But I think it brings a certain beneficial international flavor to the program. I like to give the example of in one course I had, we got talking about the special project that a particular learner wanted to do, and that was to open up a bread shop in Indonesia. And he was actually a move there from Nigeria at one point. And in that particular class, we had people from China, we had people from Egypt, the African continent. We had a few people from Canada. And we ended up being an international consulting group for this gentleman who was talking about opening up a bread store because his mother made excellent bread and he thought he had a great recipe, and apparently he did, because I believe he went ahead and did just that. So I think we have a good sense of working together with people from around the world and so on. I think you will find our courses complement that statement that I just made. They give good examples, and they have good examples in our courses. We have meaningful communications, things that you can use. I can't say how many times I hear from students that the topic we're talking about, whether it be a theory, a business practice or something, they say, oh, we do that. I just didn't know it had a name. Or that's pretty good because I see my colleagues doing that in the workplace. So it becomes ingrained in you, so to speak. It becomes part of you. And that's the whole part of this immersive idea of learning. The information you acquire will be much more familiar with you and stay with you longer, which is key, because if you're paying for this education, you don't want to lose it right away. And we have a tendency as humans to forget things fairly quickly. But we are able to make a change. Some of the things we can do is really help you in your career, advance your income perhaps. We have studies that you could look up here about what the changes in people's lives that education has made. You know, it said a long time ago that I forget who said it, but the best investment you can make is in yourself. And I think that's pretty true. And by taking these steps along the line of learning, of expanding, truly is beneficial to the individuals that are involved. We are still, people still are checking in. We have about 93 people in here so far. That's a very good turnout. So thank you again for joining. As I mentioned earlier, and to those who have just joined, we're having a bit of a technical problem today with our main host, who's trying to gain access from her location. But I'm going to jump into my part of the presentation early. Keep in mind that if you have a question, please post it in the chat area, and hopefully we'll be able to get to that here in a little bit, because it's really answering your questions is what we're here for. I'm going to give you a brief presentation. I hope you can all see my screen. What you're looking at is my dashboard as a faculty member. It's a little different for a student, but on the part here, it shows you the courses we currently have. As I said, I'm teaching the 6100 course, and this gives you the assignments that are coming up and so on. I can get right into the course by opening this, by just clicking on it, and you're in. And this gives you all the activities. We have the announcement board on the top, and we can scroll down on the left under, you'll get daily announcements, which is this part right here. And we can move through that. I see that Maya's joined us. I think she can hear me.
Yes, I can. Can everyone hear
welcome.
me?
Okay, I'm going to let
Hi,
Maya take it over, as she's the expert at this, and I will jump back in later on. I'll stop. If you can give the host, you get the host back, Maya?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
All right.
I'm going to stop sharing this, and you can go ahead and change it back to you.
Of course. Again, apologies, everyone. I had some technical difficulties. Thank you, Dr. Bill, for holding the fort while I was away.
I did a fair job. It was about a scene.
I'm sure you did. No, I'm sure everyone was lucky to hear from you as a start for today. Hi, Michael, and hi, Ezekiel, and hi, everyone. Right, so I'll just quickly introduce myself if I wasn't already introduced while I was away, but my name is Mai, and I'm a senior Nexford application specialist, and I've been with Nexford for going on almost 4 years now. And during that time, of course, I've gotten so many questions from so many aspiring learners, such as yourselves today, that are interested in how exactly would they be studying online today at Nexford. And so that's exactly what we're here to do today. And with that, I won't keep you waiting any longer, and I will start sharing my screen so that we can start talking about the online learning environment. I'm sure everybody's gotten introduced already, right? All right. Not yet.
Actually, Nate, we did not introduce it. I was just talking for a few minutes. I did this, and Michael and
Okay.
Ezekiel could introduce themselves. Sorry.
Okay, no worries at all. All right, so I'm sure you introduced yourself, so I'll jump to Michael. If you can please let everybody know a bit about yourself and which Nexford program you study.
Yes, thank you, Mai. Thank you, Dr. Bill, as well, and hi, Ezekiel. Hi, Nexford team. So hi, everyone here. Thank you for coming. My name is Michael. I'm from Indonesia. I graduated from Nexford like last year. I took MBA program, and currently I work as a general manager in sales and marketing in real estate industry. So basically, I manage the branding, the marketing, as well as the sales, which is the most important thing in my company, in selling the condominiums, landed house, warehouses, and office space. So yeah, hopefully I can help you with some questions related to practical things in the hybrid life, like working professional life and the student life. Yeah, back to you, Mai.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Michael. Very impressive. I'm glad, we'll be happy to hear from you more, of course, towards the end. All right, Ezekiel, if you can also please introduce yourself and a bit about what you do, perhaps, and what you studied at Nexford.
Thank you very much, Maya. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Bill. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on wherever we are on the globe. So my name is Ezekiel. I just recently graduated from Nexford University, finished my course in February. So I did an MBA and it's been a fulfilling journey for me, working with KPMG Ghana. Basically, we deal in advisory services and other services. We help businesses grow, we help businesses integrate and also stabilize within the region. So I'm happy to be here and to also share my journey with you. Thank you very much.
All right, amazing. Thanks a lot for that, Ezekiel. Okay, and Dr. Bill, just to double check, you've introduced yourself, I believe, before you spoke. Okay, all right, fantastic. Okay, then, so I will start sharing my screen, guys, so everybody can finally see the online learning platform. I see some people saying that they joined late. Don't worry, we kind of started late as well, or I joined late, so we're just starting and you haven't missed much. And the webinar is being recorded, so you can ask our team for a playback, hopefully once it's over. I also see some people sharing numbers and such on the chat, and I completely recommend you guys to get to know each other before you start joining Nexford. But I just want to let everybody know, as I will be showing you today also, that there are learner WhatsApp groups that you'll be able to join. So don't worry about that. We're going to help you with that right away. Okay, I will start sharing my screen. I'd love just welcome with a show of hands, maybe from the participants, if everybody can just confirm that they can see my screen just fine. Okay, Dr. Bill's always the first to let me know that he can see my screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so what everyone is currently looking at is the dashboard of our learning management system, our online learning platform. So the learning management system that we use is called Canvas, and it's being adopted by top universities, Ivy League universities around the world. You'll see that it's super user-friendly, and I'll show you guys exactly how that is. First of all, so what you're looking at currently, you see that there are these boxes, right? So I want to let you know that these represent either courses that you're enrolled in or resources you always have access to, with the exception of the NXU Orientation. So if I happen to say NXU a few times during the webinar, it stands for Nexford University. And the NXU Orientation, Nexford, and that is what, sorry guys, I'm getting just a sign that says the connection is a bit unstable. Can I confirm that everyone can hear just fine though? Okay, all right, no worries. All right, so the NXU Orientation, like I said, it's like your welcome package once you get enrolled at Nexford. It is a short course. It is not like the courses that you get enrolled in, which regularly have 6 courses and a final project. So let me just show you an example of one of the MBA courses called Leadership and Organizational Development. If I jump to the module section, which by the way, the table of contents you see here, this is the same layout for every Nexford course. And you see here, it shows you module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, whereas the NXU Orientation only has 3 modules, so it is quite short. And it is not a main part of the actual Nexford program that you've enrolled in. So just clarifying that this is something you need to complete before you even start your official Nexford program. So let's jump to the introduction part of the orientation. Okay, so right from the beginning, you'll see that there is a welcome video from our founder and CEO, Fadil Tarzi, where he welcomes everybody, of course, to Nexford University and lets them know a bit more about why or how Nexford got started and what Nexford University's mission is. So I'd love to play this short video for you guys just for a few seconds. I'll just give you a snippet of it.
And it's not a graduate. It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago. On my entrepreneurial journey, I saw a gap between the skills of college graduates and the needs of employers. With my own startups, I struggled to find people with the right competencies. For example, I couldn't find a software engineer with effective communication skills. I couldn't find the creative designers who could plan. I thought to myself, Is this why unemployment stats of college graduates
that is
grab so
just a sneak peek for you guys. Hopefully you can watch it in its entirety once you get enrolled at Nexford. And I just want to let you know that this video right here is a small example of the different and dynamic elements through which you're going to be doing your studying at Nexford. So it's not just going to be a lot of text. We don't want our learners falling asleep. There's always something to keep you engaged. You'll find, videos like these, sometimes embedded audio clips, blog length articles, little exercises here and there. Of course, there's the option also of, live engagements with faculty and professors. We also have, a writing coach, which I'll tell you guys about shortly, and so much more. So there's always something to keep you engaged. And you'll find that for any video, there's a written transcript that you can download as well that can really help things. So as you progress through the introduction part of our NXU orientation, we tell you about some things that you can join from the beginning that can truly help you with your learning journey, such as joining any of our NXU learning communities, which are led by other Nexford learners who are also experts in certain industries and fields. So if you're interested in any of these, such as entrepreneurship, or perhaps marketing or HR or finance, then I really recommend you guys join any of these learning communities. So alternatively, there are these learner WhatsApp groups, which is what I was mentioning, talking about earlier in the webinar. So you can join WhatsApp groups. It's great to have a study buddy right from the beginning of your learning journey. And a lot of these are either country specific, intake specific, or program specific. So you'll always find a WhatsApp group that suits you no matter where you are from in the world. So we do have currently learners from over 100 countries around the world. So you can imagine we have a ton of WhatsApp groups. There are new ones opening up every now and again. You can even start up your own WhatsApp group if you don't find one in your country, for example. And then we start telling you more about the different offerings that Nexford has, the different tools and services that you need to download. For example, as an Nexford learner, you actually have unlimited access to Microsoft Office, 365 and all of its tools, which you'll be, of course, using during your Nexford program. And then we tell you more about how the courses are ordered, how you can add more than one course at the same time and finish faster. And if you ever need to take a break from your program, you can, of course, request that break from your program, which we call a leave of absence. So if you're studying our MBA program, for example, you can take a break for 4 months from your program. That'll be 8 months for our BBA program. And these breaks are taken 1 month at a time. So also, of course, you'll learn about all the deadlines, whether it's for participation or for assignments or so on. You're going to know that very well right from the beginning before you can get to start. All right, so that is just an example of a portion, I would say, of the NXU orientation, which, like I mentioned, you would need to complete before you start your actual Nexford program. That's a sneak peek of how courses look like from the inside and how they are set up. We're going to jump into that a little further, or actually shortly with Dr. Bill as well, when I talk about leadership and organizational development. So I did open this up for you guys here. And if you don't mind, Dr. Bill, I think I can pass the mic to you again here. I don't believe you got a chance to talk about it too much before I joined in.
Oh, thank you, Mike. And yeah, this is a fairly straightforward course. What you're looking at right now are the various modules. Each one has 6 modules. And of course, we go through them in order. Your dashboard on the left can help you. You have a calendar, an email inbox, and the history of your actions and so on. It goes right down the list. But let's open up the first module just as an example of what we can talk about and show you what it looks like. One of the things you will see, excuse me, is the title and then the work involved. It is loading a little bit slow, but we'll get there. You will first see an overview of the module and what's included, the assignments, the reading that's involved, and then you will follow the instructions. They're very self-driven. They're very well written, I think, and they really show you exactly what's needed. In each assignment, you would see the various comments here. It explains the entire process to you. And it also outlines the expectations for this particular module. And Maya, if we could go into the assignment, I'd like to talk about that for a minute, if we could.
Yes, of course.
Now, here are the required parts of this particular module. The final project, of course, various milestones, the case analysis, and the case for change. Very straightforward. You can open up this one and see a little bit of the information about it. This is particularly about Citigroup case. Tells you where the case is, and it gives you a case for change worksheet. Many of the tools you need to complete these assignments are completed in there. I think this is one of the most important parts right here, where you see the module 2 rubrics. This is your roadmap to completing the assignment. This shows you exactly the criteria that we're looking for and what level we're looking for you to answer that question. You will be graded on this by the faculty. This is what we use to grade exclusively. Each assignment has one of these. They vary. Some have 5 components, 6 components, but you'll be graded on this. And aside from this scoring, there's a spot where you will receive narrative feedback from your faculty. And that will include, you know, hi, I thought you did well in this area, but your review of the certain materials might have been a little stronger. Sometimes we'll post recommended references for you to further explore it. Sometimes faculty will introduce their own personal experience with that particular topic. So you see here, it covers a really instructive in terms of what we expect. Tailor the case, current state, where we are now, where you're going to go. It's very, very descriptive in terms of what we expect for the assignments. As a faculty member, I get very few questions about what's expected. It's very clear. And that is one of the strong points, I think, of it. I think the important thing also that all of these individual assignments, all the individual modules, all lead up and all feed the outcomes of the program. And that is to better prepare you for the business world. I think you will find it very useful. I think the actual process can be learned very quickly. Canvas is my favorite platform. Canvas is the name of the system you're looking at that hosts this information. It's called the LMS, Learner Management System. The platform, we call it by different names, but this is where you do your work. This is where you get your assignment from. I think the other thing is important that I'd like to mention now, and then I'll turn this back to Mai, is that when you enter a online program, we hope it's us. We have what I think is one of the best ones, but you need to be mentally ready for it and be prepared to address it. I suggest you touch this as many times during the week you possibly can, even if it's a little bit of work today. If you're busy, challenges at work, challenges at home, children get sick, spouses, partners get sick. This happens. We are flexible in that way. We really work with it because we're all products of what we do here. So I think when you speak to your professors and so on, and you're going to find a very friendly reception and the willingness to open and talk about things you need to talk about. So this was just a quick look. I'll be around to answer questions later, but I'll turn it back to Mai now to move on with the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Dr. Bill. I think I'd love to shoot some questions now for the learners and that we have with us today. If I can please ask Ezekiel first, if you can just tell us a bit about your studying style with Nexford, as well as how you managed your study schedule with your life, around your life.
Great. Thank you very much, Mia. And thank you, Dr. Bill, for that as well. I can resonate with that dashboard. So I see myself more of a kinesthetic learner. I work better. I mean, I assimilate topics better when it's in a practical form where I have to try my hands on them. And so the main nature of the assignments, the course instructions and stuff in Nexford actually helped me in that regard. I will draw on a typical use case, and I'll just leverage the course Dr. Bill just took us through, leadership and organizational development. This is one of my favorite courses because what happens, it looked at cultural differences, cultural identity, conflict, organizational change plan, and all those stuff. And for me, I had to situate the context of this course in my at my current employer at the time, just to look for things like root cause analysis on certain approaches or certain decisions that were being taken. And then we explore all the 5 whys approach and all those stuff. It really helped me. And then it actually helped me model a case for change, which I applied in the company at the time. It really worked out. So it goes to say that the practical nature of the courses, the practical nature of the assignments resonates with me, and it helped. And for me, balancing that with my busy schedule, work, church, school, family, and other activities was very difficult. It was very challenging for me at the time. My first few months into my program, I was all over the place, couldn't get much sleep, couldn't get much rest, was failing in meeting up timelines at work and all those stuff. So after some time, I had to find a balance. I had to look for what works for me. Okay, so basically, I looked at my schedule for the day and I realized that sacrificing some time late in the night would work for me. That could work for any other person, or it might not work for some other people. But for me, sacrificing some time late in the night really helped. And so that reduced the number of sleep hours that I had, just to ensure that I created more time to study and meet up my timeline and my assignments. So yeah, it's something I don't regret. It's brought me much success in my course, and I'm really, really happy that I was able to go through that. It's been a very long, I think 13 months actually. It's been a very long one, but it's been a fulfilling one as well. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. I really enjoyed hearing that, and I'm sure that was for everybody as well. I'd love to hear from Michael also, if you can just tell us some notable things about your experience with assessments also, and just professor feedback and assignments and so on.
Yeah, thank you, Mai. So I'm sorry. So my experience, my study at that time wasn't really ideal for a student because it was COVID and I needed to like laid off around 40 employees in my company, and it was very tough decision, which drained my brain and my mind. And then I need to like wake up until midnight. Then after the midnight, it starts the student mode. So I finish all the assignments like until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning. And before I need to get up at 6 again to start another professional day. It was very tough, and I almost decided to like stop my education at the time, because at the time everything was not good, and it was not prepared for the whole professional job and as well as the academic moreover. So there are some subjects that I did with just passing grade. As the Dr. Bill already showed the metrics, I looked at the metrics and I find how to pass this grade exam and the assignments without aiming for the A grade. So there were those times in my learning journey. And what helped me at that time was I did consultation with like a SA, it's student advisor. They were there to help me, as well as the professor as well. Like I got the sparks from the professor spirits. Dr. Bill also like gave the feedback. Like, for example, I have this way of point of view. For example, Dr. Bill will challenge us, all the students, to like, hey, couldn't you think like this way, that way? And we were amazed, like, oh yeah, we didn't think about that. And then that's like ignite the spirit of continue the learning, as well as the student advisor. It was very helpful. So I decided just take a like 1 month break, and then I continue my journey with like, okay, just need to do the best and trust the process, because I gained lots of new knowledge. from Nexford University in a practical day-to-day life, instead of like I tried to study in my previous university, I got only theory, and this is more like a practical. So I enjoy the whole process with the difficult times here, and as well as like the enjoyable moments. Yes, thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, definitely. Everybody has a learning curve and a different learning style. I think, it's not too easy to keep that consistent all throughout. But I think just, having the drive and the motivation to keep going anyway. And, what you guys have accomplished to complete your program is still super impressive. And I know anybody with us on the call today can do the same. And so I want to remind everyone also that if you have any questions, please send them, in the Q&A area or the Q&A box, so that we can get to your questions at the end and help you learn more about the online learning experience at Nexford. So I know some people are sending questions in the webinar chat, and that's absolutely great, but we may miss them sometimes. They can get lost, in between the other messages. So just to make sure we don't miss your question, just please send them in the Q&A area. I don't see a lot of people who have sent questions yet. We have 2 questions pending. So just please send them in there, and we will have, a 15 or so minute portion at the end where we answer questions. I say 15-minute or so meaning it could run on to 40 minutes, which happened in our last webinar. Sometimes we get fantastic questions and we can't help but answer them all. So we'll do our best, but so just please send your questions in. I know some people have been writing as well that they're multitasking between this and work, and they're asking for a recording. So great job on trying to multitask and join. Like, your motivation to learn more about Nexford is impressive. So I'm happy you guys are doing that. But don't worry, this is being recorded. So you can ask for a playback from our team once it's over. All right, and with that, I'll start sharing my screen again. But before I do, because I know Dr. Bill mentioned Canvas, and I do want to let you guys know about our learning management system, that there is also a mobile application that you can download. All right, so I will share my screen to explain that a little bit more. Okay, so whether you have an iPhone or you're using an Android phone, there is a Canvas student application that you can download, which can make your learning journey, of course, even more smooth. So as you can see here, this is how the icon for the application looks like. And what happens is, when you can download this application at any point, of course, but you cannot actually log into your Nexford program unless you have gotten enrolled at Nexford. Right? And we'll talk more about the application and enrollment process today, because I know some people might still be confused about that. So I'll try to do an overview of it. So hopefully it's a little bit more clear for everyone. And it's also very important for everybody to know when the enrollment deadlines are every month and so on, so you don't miss out on joining the intake of your interest. So like I said, Canvas Student, when you download it, when you get your login credentials after actually getting enrolled at Nexford, so you'll get your login information, your learner email address and so on. That is what you need to be able to search for Nexford University in this application, and then log into your Nexford program. And the great thing is this means that you can study on the go. You don't always have to have a PC or a laptop with you. You can check your grades, you can speak with professors, you can, of course, go through your programs and so on. All right, so your program content, your assessment, and final projects are all available on our learning management system on Canvas. And that's something important to know, because I get a lot of questions from people saying, okay, where will I get my materials? Is there any physical materials and so on? So everything you need is online in our online platform, of course. And as long as you allocate a minimum of maybe 15 to 20 hours per week at your most convenient time, and ensure that you're meeting, any assessment or assignment deadlines, you should be good to go. And there are assessments that are usually done every week. So that's something also that everybody should know, just to set sort of your expectations. And so the classes are asynchronous. It does not require real-time interaction because everything that you need to complete, your assessments and projects will be available on the modules, as I showed you guys earlier. And if we get a chance today, I'll try to show you a little bit more how the inner modules look like and so on. But let's just first now, I think, go over some of the different, icons you see over here in the left side navigation pane. So when you click on courses, this just gives you an overview of the courses that you are actually enrolled in. And then we have the calendar, which if I open that up right here, You'll see that there are items already added in my calendar here, depending on the courses that I'm enrolled in. They are also color coded, which is something that you can change from the main dashboard over here. You can even do a color overlay, which is what I had on earlier. And so those are just some fun things that you can play with to make it also easier for you to go through your calendar. And then of course you can click anywhere and add your own item. You can add your own event. You can add maybe a to-do item. If you want to flesh that out a little more, then you can click on more options and put more information into this calendar event. So the great thing is that it can be synchronized also with your PC or your laptop. Of course, if you have the mobile application as well, you can sync your calendar with your mobile phone. So you can always get connected and you never miss out on any important deadlines or assignments and so on. And then we have our inbox, which is one of the easiest ways for you to communicate with faculty or maybe even other learners. So you will see that you receive already messages in your inbox from faculty when they do some announcements. And I will talk about these announcements specifically shortly, but I want to show you how easy it is to compose a new message just by clicking on this. You can select the course that you're enrolled in, for example, leadership and organizational development. Do you want to speak with a teacher or a student? Let's say you want to speak with a student named Abigail, and that's just put in your subject, put in your message and send. And it is that easy to send a message to anyone through the inbox area. Great. And then our writing lab, that is the final piece of the puzzle of these boxes you see right in front of you, which, like I said, represent courses that you're enrolled in. But then we have the writing lab. And so this doesn't go away. It's not something you complete and then, it's over. Basically, it is a resource you always have access to. So I want to show you the writing lab. You click on that. You'll see that the table of contents on the left side here are shorter than the ones you would see also for any Nexford course. And from the homepage of the writing lab, you get a couple of lines here from the announcements that you would also have been receiving in your inbox, which I will discuss. But what is the writing lab? So we know that not everybody is a natural born writer, and for the types of assignments that you may be required to do with Nexford, you may not always know that type of formatting, such as APA formatting. So you're going to learn all about that through the writing lab. And of course, this is also where you can get help with your English skills. You can get help with, improving your academic writing, for example. So let me show you the module section, which have just a couple of papers here that can help you with certain areas, such as, your style of writing and so on. And then we have a couple of videos also can help you with English grammar, paragraph structure. And then we have a couple of frequently asked questions. And then if you don't find the answer to your question right here, then you can go ahead and schedule a one-on-one session with our writing lab coach, Caroline Fernandez. So you would have been seeing her face here in the announcements as well as in the inbox. But if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a little biography for Caroline and also a link where you can book a one-on-one session with her to ask her about anything related to writing. Right, so it should take you to this page. Like I said, it should be a booking page with Caroline, where you can book a 30-minute session with her on a date that suits you, as well as a timing. For example, depending on your time zone, put in your information and book, and it's that easy to have a call with her. Same goes for having a call with faculty, or perhaps even with our success advisors, which I will tell you guys about also. But I want to let you know about the announcements that she also, posts right here. So these are about drop-in sessions that she holds regularly, probably every week. And these can be joined by other Nexford learners from around the world. It can even be joined by up to maybe 100 learners at a time. And she may announce pre-hand what topics she would be covering in these, sessions, these drop-in sessions. It can be recorded. There can be a PowerPoint presentation. So this would be super useful for you as well. So I recommend you keep an eye on these and, consider joining these instead of having just that one-on-one session with Caroline. Right. So I mentioned success advisors, right? So this is very important to explain for everyone also. So these success advisors, we have a team of success advisors that are posted from all around the world, which means that you can have access to them, basically to speak with them, of course, for any help that you need in regards to learning 24/7. So you'll always find somebody you can reach out to before you may even have an issue or any challenge that you need to try to book a call with a success advisor for, or reach out to them on WhatsApp maybe, or send them an email or so on. A lot of the times you may find a success advisor proactively reaching out to you already, because of course they can see, how you're doing with your learning experience and so on. And they may be able to tell if you're having sort of any challenges. So they will check in on you. And of course, you can also have these sessions, like I said, with faculty. So you're never going to feel alone in your online experience. And you can book, like I said, like one-on-one sessions also with faculty. And there are live lectures that are done every 2 weeks, but these are optional, so they're not required for you to attend. These are just some things to help you better, understand the online learning experience as well. So in regards to the success team, since I've been speaking about them, I'd love to ask a question to Ezekiel first. How have you found the success team support at Nexford during your Nexford learning journey? And aside from that, second question here is, were you ever able to reach out to fellow learners for help instead of the success?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy you mentioned that. So for me, I'll just put it into context. My first degree, or my first this thing was in computer engineering. So I have an IT background. And so I had no clue when it comes to business. I didn't even know there was anything like business writing. Because I'm an IT guy, so I did all the techie stuff and stuff. So starting my MBA, I found it very challenging. I remember my first course, I got a very bad grade, and I didn't understand why that was the case. So I reached out to my success advisor, and they kind of put me back on track to say that, hey, these are the things that you need. So they put me through to to book a call with Caroline. To help me out with the writing skills and stuff. So I took some learnings from there, and that actually helped me improve on my writing. It wasn't easy, but then gradually I was able to come out of that. But one of the key things which stood out for me from a support point of view was the constant checking up. I remember one of the courses, like Michael mentioned the last time, when you just have a pass mark on one particular course because, hey, you're bumped with time. And my success advisor actually reached out to me in the middle of the course to tell me that, hey, looking at your grades, we think you're not doing very well. Do you need help? In which areas do you need help? It was quite fascinating to see that, and that really helped me know that, okay, yeah, though I was not doing well, somebody was actually watching to be sure that I'm getting my acts right and then doing the right thing. And with reaching out to other learners, yes, quite a lot of them. Like you showed in the inbox session, there are some courses that you're not sure what the criteria are, though they are there, they are clearly stated what the criteria are, but you get confused at some point. So you just reach out to a colleague, either during the discussion session or through the inbox you reach out to. And there were quite a lot of other learners who were able to help. They were happy to help, and then they all come to bear. So yeah, it was, I mean, I had that support, and I really thank the entire team, the success team, the writing team, the colleagues, everybody. Yeah, thank you. And also my lecturers, yeah, they did very well as well. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that you yourself had that experience and that you could share that with everybody, that you were reached out, by a success advisor. Can I ask the same from Michael, if you have, any stories or anything you could share with everyone about your experience as well, with the success team, or maybe even other learners from around the world?
Yes, thank you, Mai. So yeah, I told a bit about the success advisor previously. I remember the student advisor. Yeah, it was success advisor because we call it as a team. And yeah, during the time, it was the tough time. Not only like the NXU or Nexford staff that were helping, including of course the professor and the SA, but also the interesting thing here is like I got also the support from the students, like the fellow students in Indonesia. It was not possible for us to meet face to face, so we did hangout meetings with the Zoom at the time, and we discussed about like some materials that seemed almost impossible to finish. There were some that I was weak at. So that kind of environment, I can say that at Nexford, yes, I study alone here at my home, at my office, at cafe, even on weekends, chilling. But I'm never be alone because there are a lot of supports from friends, from professor, as well as from the success advisor. So those three environmental around me like made the strong foundation for me to proceed and finish my journey study. And from the success advisor part, it was more or less the same like what Ezekiel mentioned earlier. Yes, I just want to highlight the fellow friends as well, the online friends. But
Yes,
we met.
that's amazing.
I met them, some of them finally in person.
I'm glad. That should set an example for everyone as well. Make that effort and try to meet those learners as well. Right. Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, I will share my screen again, guys, and I will just be talking about, the different learner benefits you get at Nexford, and then we can start taking, questions. So I see some people already sending a lot of questions, so that's exciting. So I know we're going to be answering quite a lot of them as much as we can. So just a reminder to anyone else, if you have additional questions, now's the time to send it so we can get to them. Right. And I see some people also asking about the recording. So please don't worry, this webinar is being recorded. And of course, you can watch a playback. Of course, we'll send a recording to you once it's ready. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, so what are some of the Nexford learning benefits? First of all, we have this NXU library. It is a robust library of over 60 million resources that covers so many different topics and industries around the world. Wait a second for it to load up here. Here we go. All right, so of course here you can jump to a specific group, but basically what the NXU library is it's a great research tool for you as you're studying at Nexford. You can find that there are encyclopedias here, there are research papers, articles, and so much more. So this can truly help you with your studying at Nexford, as well as if you want to do any additional reading even for yourself, then I think you'll find all of these quite interesting. Aside from the NXU library, if you haven't heard of LinkedIn Learning, then it is connected to LinkedIn. And it is a platform where you would have access to at no additional cost just from being a Nexford learner. And you'll have access to over 16,000 LinkedIn Learning courses and videos covering so many different topics around the world. So it doesn't necessarily have to be related to the Nexford program or course that you are taking, but you will find that embedded in your Nexford courses sometimes within the modules or, in the modules area, basically, you'll see that we recommend to you what LinkedIn Learning courses you can take that are related to that specific module or that specific course at Nexford. So that is there for you as well. But aside from that, you can just jump into LinkedIn Learning. You'll have access to it as a Nexford learner and study anything, like I said, even if it's not related. And the great thing is that you do get a certificate of completion once you've completed that. It's a great thing to add to your CV or your resume or your online profile. And it really shows your employer or anybody that you are learning on the go, you're learning additional skills, you're not just waiting to complete your program, but you're also learning additional skills next to that. All right, so those are some of the benefits. And then, of course, you can go to our career page on our website. So anybody can go to nexford.org/career and find out more about the different ways in which we at Nexford help you with your career progression. Right, so if you scroll to the bottom, you will see the area where we have already mentioned LinkedIn Learning. But then also, if you are based in Africa, and I know a lot of people on the call today are indeed based in Africa. So the great thing is that then you can have access also to IBM Digital Nation Africa. It is more tech related. So if you're interested in cybersecurity or programming or AI, then this is the place for you. We also have Localized, which is a great place for a great platform where you can create a profile for yourself and get connected with career coaches and mentors around the world. You can even join virtual job fairs. So I recommend you guys check this out as well. There's even a demo of Localized here. So you can access all of this on this page on our website. And then we also have, if you scroll here, you'll find the global grid. and there is a website for that or page for that. So what is the Global Grid? It is a mentorship program that we launched, I believe, last year or so. And it is to enable talent around the world to prepare for remote jobs. So you'll see that there are webinars that can be joined by anyone. So if you're already in our mailing list or you're keeping an eye on our events page, then try not to miss out on these great webinars that we have with our mentors and so on. But then we have these group mentoring sessions that are, of course, exclusive only for Nexford learners. And you'll find that our mentors come from all around the world. They work at top companies like Samsung and Coca-Cola. They were obviously handpicked for their industry expertise. So you can learn a lot of information there from our mentors. So truly keep an eye on this as well. And then we have Forage. So with Forage, this is a free resource. It's a career resource where you can get virtual work experience at real companies like JP Morgan and Accenture, as you can see here, and it can really complement your learning at Nexford as you get to apply the skills that you're learning. Plus, you can actually choose to share your, your task submissions with recruiters, which can lead to interview opportunities for internships. So much like LinkedIn Learning, you'll also find within the modules a suggestion from us sometimes for a virtual work experience from Forage that you can take that is related to that specific module. So, for example, for this course, right here at the top, here we're recommending you take the virtual work experience program from Forage, right here, for example, which is, in our opinion, related to leadership and organizational development. And same goes for LinkedIn Learning. As you can see, it's a chance for you to expand on certain areas that are related to that, to these courses also. That is what I was talking about earlier. So you'll find a lot of support from our team about, if you are confused about, what additional learning you can do, what course you can take side by side. Our career coach, our success advisors are there also to help you with any types of questions like these. They can help you, of course, with goal setting and so much more. All right, so that is just some of the many learner benefits we have at Nexford. Of course, we can go on for a very long time. There's a lot to unpack with our online platform, but I think that's why this is the perfect time to hopefully jump into the questions. But before we do, I'd just love to hear one last time from our lovely learners, or rather Ezekiel and Michael, if you can tell us just finally a bit about your Nexford learning journey. What were some of your favorite parts, and what were your challenges? Sorry, this question specifically for Ezekiel first.
All right, sure. Thank you, Maya. So I guess the favorite part was when I got an email confirming my completion of my course. That was like, yeah, I was so happy. But there were several good moments with Nexford. There were quite a number of them. I think one of the fulfilling ones was on the 26th of every month, every term, when you finish that final course assignment and then you've submitted it, and then there's a feedback from your sorry about that, there's a feedback from your lecturer or your faculty head saying that, yeah, you're good with this course, and then you actually see that you've passed that course. That was very fulfilling, because then that brings you a step closer to completing your overall objective, right? So every 26th of the term was a very good moment for me. One of the highlights was the last course that I had to do. That's the business capstone. And that was a fulfilling one, because it was a very demanding course. I mean, you have to actually apply everything you've learned right from the beginning all the way to the end of the program in just one single assignment, and that was very demanding, very challenging. So having to complete that and then getting an email to confirm that, yes, I'm done with my program, was very fulfilling. For challenges, I think I touched on one key challenge I had. Writing was a very, very big challenge, and I was happy to see that at the end of the program, I'd actually improved on my writing skill. It was a very, very big challenge for me. The next and most critical one was meeting up with the submission of assignment on time. It's demanding, work-life balance and all those stuff. But when I touch base with other colleagues and other learners all over the world, I realized that particular problem was not just, that challenge was not just an Ezekiel challenge. It was a general challenge. Everybody had that same issue, so that was it. But I mean, generally, it was great. It was a great experience, and I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. All right. So Michael, how would you say your Nexford program has changed your life so far?
Oh, it helped and it changed a lot. Before why I first why I decided to join Nexford, because I was stuck in my career as a manager at the time for like quite a famous startup in Southeast Asia. And it was stuck because my competitor was my competition at the time was like a graduate from the US, from the UK, as well as like someone who had the experience working in Dubai and those kind of things. So I was not in a competitive position, so I decided to take Nexford, and now I'm more confident facing the competition in front of me, because what I think confidence is something we can't buy. It comes from inside of us. So yeah, it definitely changed a lot in my career, in my confidence, day-to-day basis, and meeting my clients now, it's even easier and smoother. So yeah, Nexford changed a lot, and it helped. So I love it.
So glad to hear that. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that, Michael. And have you got any final, advice for current or any aspiring learners?
Sorry, Mike?
Oh, yes. Yeah, Michael, I was asking if you have any final advice for any current or aspiring learners.
Oh yeah. For many people, maybe taking MBA or BBA would be a very huge decision, and some of us might think that this is not urgent, this is not important. But I would like to inform again and remind again that the thing with delayed gratification, so something that we can see the result in 1 to 2 years spend time, or 3 years for the bachelor program, it will come to the result. We will harvest the fruits later on, and trust me, it was very worth the investment of our time, as well as the price and the tuition fee. And moreover, now in Indonesia, like the government openly already okay with the Nexford, so it really good news for me as well. Yeah, I love it so much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Amazing. Glad to hear that, Michael. All right. How about Ezekiel? Also, I want to give you a chance to share any final advice you may have.
Yeah, sure. I think one key thing would be mental preparedness. You need to psych yourself. For me, and if you're not resilient, at some point you might actually give up. I think Michael even mentioned that, and we all experience that when it gets to a certain point where you realize that it's quite difficult. So you need to be mentally prepared. You need to be sure that once you're getting in, you're giving in your all. There will be challenging times, yes, of course. There's always challenging times everywhere in the world, but just be resilient, take it a step after the other. Every course after the other. I mean, for me, what works is you can take one course a term, you can take 2 courses a term, 3 courses. I mean, just walk at your pace, make sure you're comfortable. And at the end of the day, the value you derive from this is going to really and scale you up. I was a techie, I mentioned, but now I help businesses, advise businesses on setup strategy, market entry strategies, and all the stuff. And this, most of the skills are acquired in Nexford have actually helped me provide valuable inputs to help clients with decisions and taking certain decisions in their businesses and stuff. So yeah, it's worth the while. But you need to be mentally prepared. You need to go in, and then you need to be resilient as well. But it's a value that you never regret adding to yourself. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Ezekiel. All right. I think we can finally start taking some questions. So I see we have a lot. So I'm glad to see that people followed my advice and started really sending questions in the question and answer portion, so we can get to them. Some people are apologizing for being late, so I just want to let you know that this webinar has been recorded. It is being recorded, so you can watch a playback once that's ready, so don't worry, you won't miss anything. And now we are at the end of our webinar, so we're just going to start taking questions from everyone. So let's see what our first question today here was. We had a question here from Adrian4 who says, please can someone apply with a birth certificate if the person is not with his government ID? Yes, you can. You'll just need to include with that also just a personal photo of yourself also. So we accept different types of, proof of identification. So not just government ID, if you have an international passport, if you have a driver's license and so on. So I recommend you also check out our admissions page on our website to learn more about our admission requirements. Great. A question here that says from Perpetual, is it possible for the MBA program to run for less than 18 months? Yes, it is possible. So that is just an average duration. And we're often using the word average when we talk about our degree programs because everybody can finish faster or slower, depending on their own, personal pace, depending on how many courses they would be allowed to take at the same time. And that is dependent on your total GPA at Nexford. So how well you do in your courses and so on, that is what, basically form your GPA, and then based on that, will you be allowed to take 2 courses at a time or maybe 4 courses at the same time? So we have had MBA learners that have completed their MBA program in just 12 months and 10 months. We even had 6 months, right? So it really depends. I think just the best thing to keep in mind is don't over stress yourself, I think, with trying to finish fast. I think sometimes everybody has their own pace. So if somebody's finishing faster than you, you don't want that to be something that stresses you out. Everybody has their own pace. And sometimes it's better to sit with the information a little longer while you go through the courses, right? Okay, let's see. We have Veronique who's saying, where do I access the Canvas dashboard? So the online learning platform can only be accessed once you have actually registered. You've actually enrolled at Nexford. You'll be able to already access our online platform from that early on. I hope to see some questions here also for Michael or Ezekiel or Dr. Bill, but let's go through them and see if we get any. Okay, this is an easy question, I think, that I can, Dr. Bill can help me with. Please, what is the difference between the MBA and the BBA program? And of what quality are the 2 programs?
You want me to handle that one?
Yes, if it's all right, just like what the difference is between the MBA and BBA program.
Between the MBA and the BBA, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, the BBA stands for our bachelor program. That is normally a first degree people would go for after the other education you have to qualify to enter a bachelor program. The MBA would be considered an extension of the bachelor's, higher level thinking, more critical analysis, concept theory. It adds to it. Many people consider the MBA a very high degree in the academic realm of things. When you move into the doctoral level, the focus changes, but between the BBA and the MBA, it's the level of critical thinking and application of concepts that come in. In the BBA, the foundational level is set. In the MBA, the higher level analysis, critical thinking takes place.
So thank you for helping me with that, Dr. Bill. Great. I see questions here, a few questions about people asking, would the MBA certificate carry the online program on it? No, it will not say that you studied online, but I'm sure that everybody should be proud of their online program at Nexford. Okay, and I see somebody who mentioned Michael's name. Yeah, Juliana saying, Michael said something about practical lesson. I did not quite get what he meant. Please expatiate, Mike. All right. Would you like to, explain more about this, Michael?
All right. So at the time when I took a Nexford MBA, I was also studying in another university for my master's degree in my capital city in Jakarta. And then what I noticed very differently in my university in Jakarta, it learned a lot about the theory and the concept. While at Nexford, I learned like very practical that I had been facing day-to-day basis. For example, from the Canvas model that Mai has shared earlier, there was the like lots of hyperlinks and lots of resources as well as from the library linked learning, right? And then I got the one article as well coming from the modules mentioning like how the director would eventually manipulate the report. They could manipulate the report to just present good data, good things to make themselves good, which was that had probably happened in some industry as well. Like if we looked at JD.ID cases in one of the startup from China, and this case was thought in one of the models of Nexford. It's coming from the lots of resources, and I noticed that happened in my company as well. So Nexford like opened my eyes as well, and something that we have been doing in the company as well, to be honest. And okay, this is very practical, and this is like golden nugget, very practical, because it was happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, I'd like to add one thing to what Michael's saying, and he said it with the expression "opening your eyes." You know, if you want to get an MBA and graduate, you can do that. Anybody, we have 146 people on this call. Well, 145 of you could do that if you just wanted to click the button and graduate. If you want to learn, that's a different level. Learning the material versus passing the material are two different things. Human beings forget 70% of what they learn anyway, but the process of learning the material is what the true goal of any degree is. What you can take away and what stays with you a year or 2 years afterwards. That's the difference. If you want to just graduate, no problem, you'll graduate. But if you want to acquire the information that prepares you better for jobs, Ezekiel works for a huge international organization. You can't do that with just passing an exam. There requires, the MBA will open doors for you in many places, but when you get in the door, you have to have the information in your head, and that's really what you're after in this program, and that's what we can deliver.
Amazing, very well put. I couldn't have said it better. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill and Michael as well. So I think I want to address next about accreditation, because we're having a couple of people asking questions about that, asking about WES, asking about IACP. So let me just give you an overview of our accreditation. So Nexford is accredited in the US by the Distance Education Accrediting Commission, which is the DEAC. So the DEAC is listed by the US Department of Education as a recognized accrediting agency, and is recognized also by the Council for Higher Education Accreditation, which is CHIA for short. We're also accredited by ASIC, which is a UK-based international organization. We also have a license by the Higher Education Licensure Commission, which is HELC for short, in Washington, D.C. And that is the same organization that licenses all physical universities operating in Washington, D.C. So in terms of IACBE, we're an educational member of the International Accreditation Council for Business Education, which is what we have IUDG was asking about. And also you can just, of course, learn more about our accreditation on our website. So I'll share that link with everybody on chat. I'll share that for everyone. And in regards to WES accreditation, so if no one knows what, some people don't know what WES is, it is the World Education Services. And it's a nonprofit social enterprise dedicated to helping international students or immigrants or refugees achieve their educational and career goals in the United States and Canada. So I know we get a lot of questions in regards to getting Nexford degrees evaluated by WES. So I want you to know that WES will evaluate Nexford degrees. However, they will not say they are equivalent to a Canadian degree, because we are already nationally accredited in the United States by DEAC, right? So DEAC is already recognized as an accrediting agency by both the US Department of Education as well as CHIA, like I mentioned. So most schools in the US and Canada will do their own credit evaluations.
that is to answer also a question from an anonymous attendee. See, we have Ogaga asking, please, is there a time limit for assignments during the program? And if yes, how long is it? Anybody want to jump in and help me with this one?
I can help. There are deadlines with the assignments. They are needed, A, to keep everybody moving forward in a positive way, and B, by accrediting bodies. We simply cannot have students out there floating around. They have to be in a program and a monitored program. So for that reason, we do have assignment due dates. They're clearly stipulated when the course opens for you. If you have problems with it, we know life events happen, emergencies and so on. We're here to help you with that. We have extension policies in place. But yes, there are due dates. You generally get a number of days to do it over a 6-week period. I have received very, very few issues with the schedule that's set up. It's not overbearing, in my opinion. It's manageable for those of us who are working at the same time as doing this. So yes, there are guidelines. They're there for reasons that include accreditation. If we didn't have these sorts of measurements in place, we would not qualify for the accreditation we have. So that's why we have some of those things.
Amazing, thanks. Thanks, Dr. Bill. We also have a question also from Solomon, who says, is there a specific time upon which lectures are held in any particular day? And is there room for installment payment of fees? So no, there aren't any specific times in the day or in the week that you need to log in and do your studying. So that is up to you, how you allocate, how many hours you spend, in the week or so to study, as long as you, of course, meet the deadlines for assignments, the deadlines for participation and so on, then you're all good. In regards to installment or payment of fees, so at Nexford, the option for paying tuition is either monthly, every 2 months, or every 6 months in advance. And I recommend everybody go to our tuition page also on our website. You'll find all the information you need about tuition. And we have also an anonymous attendee asking, is there any course that I'll be studying and also have an access to a job that will be paying me online? Unfortunately, not at the moment. So we don't currently have this option. So I understand a job is ultimately, what everyone's after. We can't guarantee jobs, but we can promise to empower you with the skills you need to have the best chance to get a job or succeed in your current career. Great. There are a lot of questions, guys. So I'm not too sure we're going to be able to get to all of them today. So apologies for that. Maybe we can take a couple more questions for, maybe 5 or 10 more minutes. I'm just clearing the ones that everybody was asking about accreditation. Someone was asking about the learning experience. How exactly would you be studying online? I believe this was Jail saying, I'm really looking forward to meeting people and engaging in great challenging conversations with fellow students. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And where will these conversations be had, on WhatsApp or on the Canvas platform? Also, can you share the experiences on the relationships or connections formed through Nexford, whether on LinkedIn or through platforms available to Nexford? So I kind of feel like we covered this. I hope that was, because I know this question was sent perhaps just halfway into the webinar. So Jael, please let us know if you still need clarification on it. And also Dr. Bill or Michael or Ezekiel, I know you guys can see the questions too. So if you happen to see any you want to volunteer to answer, let me know. A question in regards, Kenya specific here. John is asking, is Nexford qualifications recognized by Commission for University Education in Kenya? So by that, I know you mean, I think, NUC. So currently no, but our degree in Nexford can be recognized by the Commission of University. Oh, sorry, that is what you're asking about. Apologies for that. Yeah, so the CUE, yes, it can be recognized for sure. Anonymous attendee saying, I'm applying for the MBA program, but I was told I will do some additional courses to fully integrate into the full MBA. So yes, this is true for everyone. So anyone applying for the MBA who has a bachelor's degree that is not already in a business related field, you will be required to take these advanced business foundation courses, or it's a certificate rather, that's comprised of 4 courses that you need to complete before you can jump straight into the MBA program. And it's there to help you set you up for success with your MBA program, to provide you with any skills that you did not previously gain in your bachelor's degree related to business, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I could come in here just briefly
Yes,
and
please.
say, yeah, I'm a typical example of that. So I mentioned earlier that my first degree was computer engineering. So straight up, I didn't get the admission to start the MBA right away. So I had to start with the foundation courses, about 4 of them. And for me, it was an eye opener. It was a very good step because I would have struggled even more if I'd gone straight into my MBA courses. So that gave me like the foundation, the ground to make mistakes with my assignments, the ground to learn some basic things about business, global business, and other specific courses that really helped and propelled me into my MBA. So yeah, that's really, really needed, and it's really relevant. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for helping with that, Ezekiel, as well. It's great to see that somebody is, has that actual experience. Okay, I know someone's asking also about DBA program and other programs. So currently, just to give you an overview, that we only offer currently at Nexford 3 degree programs. That is our MBA, so that's a graduate level program. And then we have 2 undergraduate level programs, which is our BBA and our AAS. So BBA is our Bachelor of Business Administration, and our AAS is an Associate Degree in Applied Science in Business. So we don't currently have a doctorate program. Of course, it's in the plan for the future, hopefully, when that may be. I can't say at the moment, of course, but stay tuned. We are always looking forward to adding more programs, of course. We have Ferdinand asking, what is the completion time for the BBA? So that would be an average of 4 years. So that's 48 months. You can, of course, finish it in almost half the time, though. So the fastest that you may be able to complete a BBA is in about 2.5 years. And Adebayo is asking, can one apply for the MBA without the BBA first? It really depends if you have a bachelor's degree at all. Right, so you don't specifically need to apply to our BBA to qualify you to take our MBA, but you need to have a university degree program, or what is equivalent to a bachelor's degree. And like I mentioned, if it is not in business, then you would need to take some additional courses. So I would recommend, of course, if you don't have that, take our BBA first, and then hopefully take our MBA. Will I be, Kahindi is saying, will I be able to listen to lecture more than once? I think you mean to listen to this lecture maybe, or listen to lectures in general more than once. If these are in regards to the live sessions, I don't know if Dr. Bill can shed some light on these, the optional live sessions that are held by faculty.
Certainly. Most professors do not do a weekly lecture like you might think of in a traditional setting. We do at least once a month where I hold a 1-hour session where I invite all the students from the sections I'm running to take part in a phone call. That phone call is focused on your questions. I can sit there and talk for an hour, but it's focused on the questions that you bring. So once a month, there is a 1-hour live session with your professor in each course. And that's where we can address details of the overall program, the course, what's next, what you're having troubles with, explanations of assignments, time constraints, anything like that. So you do have access to your professor. Plus, you have access to set up appointments with your professor as you need. I do that often. I do them in Zoom meetings. There is a way to connect with your professor to make an appointment right on the course site, on the course page. You can set an appointment. If a time available is not convenient for you, I would simply email your professor and try to set up another time. I do that most of the time. We find a time that's convenient, even if it's outside of my published office hours.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Bill. It's great. We have a Nexford application specialist also helping us with the questions. So we're trying our best to get to everybody's questions right here. So I think I'll take maybe two or three more questions, maybe perhaps a little more. Let's see. We have here. Juliana says the extra learning will be helpful. Hope they will always be accessible. Okay, that's a very good question. So once you complete your Nexford program, unfortunately, you would not have access anymore to these, learner benefits as well as, your online program. But we do offer something called alumni access. So I'll share my screen here. You can find out about this on our career page as well, by the way. So share the screen. So as you can see, alumni access is specifically for Nexford learners that have already graduated. If you still wish to have access to the online program, to all of your courses, you can revisit them anytime, as well as all the learner benefits, including LinkedIn Learning, of course, and our NXU library, our Microsoft 365 license, and also IBM Digital Nation Africa. If you are indeed based in Africa, then you would need to subscribe to our alumni access program. It's available for $15 a month or $150 a year.
One more to that point, not to take up more time here, but in my course, I'll just refer to me. I mean, many professors do this, but in my case, I'm in contact with our graduates. I have about a dozen people who have graduated who I still maintain contact with. And I act as kind of like a bouncing board where they can bounce ideas off of for their business. I saw somebody ask a question about small businesses. We talked to them about that, and we're talking about them changing their business plan, doing this. This is all, this is not on the pay scale or anything like that. This is when someone graduates. We became friends through the course or courses in some cases, and we've stayed in contact. And there's about a dozen. And I work with people in Indonesia, a gentleman in Nigeria who's setting up a student loan business. And I mean, a host of things we talk about. I'm not an expert at all of that, but if people have ideas they want to bounce about, I'm perfectly happy. That's the fun part of my job, actually, when we can sit and talk about your goals, your plans, and what you want to do either in a business or a job or career or not, maybe something else. Many people get a degree just for personal satisfaction as well. So that's up to you. Just thought I'd mention that.
Amazing. Yes, that definitely helps. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill, for that insight. All right. We have a question here from Damalola who says, I have reserved. This was early on, I think just 30 minutes into the webinar. You shared this question. You're saying I have reservations about doing an online MBA when compared with top programs or in-person programs, as they are typically very involved in helping students with job placements, internships, networking, etc. How does NXU help students with these things? So I think when we started to talk about the learning experience, and we heard a bit from Michael and Ezekiel as well, and the different learning benefits related to your career, I hope we answered that question for you, Damilola, and I hope we've helped with some of those reservations. If you have an additional question, please share it now, because I'm not too sure if you still need a response to be. Anonymous attendee also asked, may I ask on how early one can finish the MBA program, taking into account that we can study multiple courses simultaneously? So I believe this was answered as well. So you can finish in less than 10 months. People asking for scholarship opportunities, I recommend you go to our scholarships page on our website to see what's currently available and if you're eligible to apply for that. If you don't find something specific to your country, then I recommend you send us a message also on WhatsApp or send an email to help@nexford.org, and our team will try to help you to see if anything, any running promotions or anything like that. So I will also share the link for everyone for not the link rather, but our WhatsApp number. I've shared that on chat, including also our email address. Okay. And for people asking for scholarship opportunities in the Philippines, so there is a scholarship form, guys, that you can fill to just express your interest, and so that you can be notified as soon as any opportunities I lost your question, the anonymous attendee. I'm trying to find where it was so I can send you the specific link. Already answered over 50 questions, guys, with the help of our Nexford application specialist. So that's amazing. I'm not too sure if we'll get to them all, but I'm trying. I think we can push this just to 30 minutes, meaning maybe 4 additional minutes on the webinar. So the lucky ones will get their questions answered during those 4 minutes. So let's see. Anthony saying, I'm Anthony and I have completed my application. I want key info, I think it's a fixed tuition for this month. Sorry, I'm not too sure what you mean, Anthony. Can you please send us a question on WhatsApp or help as well, and then we can help better explain to you also our different payment options, you know, and the difference between tuition fees as well as application. So I think what's important, this is not you know, a response to a specific question I'm seeing in front of me right now, but I did mention I wanted to give an overview for the application and enrollment process, and I think that is one of the important questions you guys should be asking, unless it's pretty clear from you already from the website, which is great. But for anybody who's not too clear on that, so to apply at Nexford, anyone can apply at any time. Just go to apply.nexford.org. There's an online application form. Just fill you know, whatever is required in the different pages of the online application, and for whichever program you're applying for, that will be of course your basic information. We need proof of identification. We need you know, your study history, and then we also need proof of English proficiency, right? So this can also you know, if it's not an English certificate, you know, you haven't taken like a Duolingo test or something like that, you can also prove it by, you know, if you studied English in your previous school. If English was the main language of instruction in your previous school, then proof of your transcript would be enough to prove English proficiency. Once you've provided all the information you need in the online application, of course, you'd have to have already chosen which program you're applying for and understood the admission requirements for that. You need to pay a one-time $20 application fee and submit your application. It can take anywhere from a day to maybe 7 business days to get a response from our team. It will only take that long if there are any challenges or anything missing perhaps with your application, right? But you can even get you know, same day response if all is good. You'll find all the tips on our website as well on how to have a successful application at Nexford. Once you get that, you know, successful admission or that positive admission decision, then you need to get enrolled, which is mostly about, you know, paying at least the first month of your program tuition and choosing a start date. You can when you're getting enrolled, you can choose even a future start date up to 4 months ahead. And the great thing with getting enrolled early is it means you can have early access to our online platform, including all of the learner benefits. You can finish the orientation very early on. You can access all of the, you know, LinkedIn Learning and all of the career-related benefits you get, and go through those before you even start your official Nexford program. So that is an overview, guys. I hope that was helpful for anybody who didn't have that too clear. Okay, we got 1 minute left, guys. What is the final question we are going to take? And I'll share again on chat our WhatsApp number as well as our email inbox, so you can send questions there. Okay, Mercy's asking about a free scholarship. We don't currently offer that, and I did respond in regards to scholarships. So I hope that answered your question. I think I could take one more if everyone's okay with it. I'll take one more question and then we can yeah, end our webinar today. Okay, so Emmanuel is asking, what if I choose to do my graduation in Washington instead of Nigeria? That is a great question. Actually, Michael was able to go to our, and I believe this is true, right? Michael, you were able to attend our previous graduation ceremony in Washington DC last September, right? So learners can be able to graduate in Washington, DC. We will be doing our best to try to hold more, of course, local graduation ceremonies wherever we have a lot of graduates from around the world. We were able to do 2 graduation ceremonies in Nigeria already. We did one in the past in Egypt as well. So we will be trying to do this more in the future for anybody who is unable to travel, right, to Washington, DC. We will help you, of course, with the invitation letter and everything for your visa and whatever else. Just ask our team and we'll help give you all the information if you are keen on attending in Washington, DC. We would love to have you as well, of course, Emmanuel, once you're studying with us and once you graduate.
And plan early.
Yes. Yes, I think that's the best final advice, I think, for the webinar in general. Great, guys. I think I'll need to wrap it up. I'm very happy for those that were able to stay this long with us. I know we went overboard, and same for Dr. Bill and Ezekiel and Michael. Thank you so much for taking this time during your day to help me with this webinar. And thanks, everyone. Have a good day or a good evening. And again, if you have additional questions, you know where to reach us. We'll be happy to help you, and hopefully everybody can start learning with us as soon as next month or the month after. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.